with you Aisha Ali, who is going to give us more insights on the importance of teaching financial literacy for youth and refugees. Aisha Ali is an award-winning entrepreneur, a co-ambassador in Uganda and certified financial literacy facilitator with the Bank of Uganda. She is also the founder of the High Profile Foundation, a social enterprise founded in 2015, focusing on children empowerment programs. She is also the founder of the Hope Hub, which focuses on entrepreneurship skills for refugees, women, and children. And finally, she also facilitates the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, which is an initiative of the White House in the United States. So thank you, Aisha, for being here today, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much, Gemma, for the introduction. I'm feeling a little extra this morning to be here and be a part of the extravaganza. Unfortunately, I'm sorry I won't put my video on because of a few allergies I have this morning, but that wouldn't stop me from being here. So my passion for financial literacy has no limits. And most importantly and dear to my heart is financial literacy and inclusion for refugees. There is a gap today between the harsh reality of the world and what we imagine the world could be. Working together, we can close that gap. We can get the world a little closer to the one we imagine, one that's grounded in hope, dignity, and inclusion. Before I delve deeper into why financial literacy and inclusion is important for refugee youth, I'd love to give us a few highlights and statistics to remind us or keep us informed. Only 3% of the world's 25 million refugees are able to resettle or return home. More than ever, refugees need to be supported on their self-reliance journey. The Global Compact on Refugees has brought many opportunities to reflect and adapt to how we serve communities. Perhaps the most important aspect is the promotion of refugees and host communities as equal partners. In the Ugandan context, with over or approximately 1.5 million refugees, Uganda is the biggest host country of refugees in Africa and the third largest in the world. These numbers comprise of those both settled in the urban centers and across the refugee settlements in the country. Driven by necessity and limited employment choices, many refugees decide to start a business once they settle in a host country. And that drives our point of the importance for financial literacy for refugees home. As stakeholders, we're asking ourselves what the purpose of our work is. For those of us who work with refugees, financial inclusion is often for rebuilding sustainable livelihoods, resilience, and self-reliance. Is financial literacy important for refugees? Yes, yes, and yes. I cannot emphasize that enough. Now, allow me tell you two sides of a story. Many years ago, in 1994, a little girl was born in one of the East African countries. Her parents migrated from their home country in pursuit for business opportunities. Fast forward, they are citizens in that East African country. They have contributed to the economy of that country. This girl, now a lady, has not had limitations throughout her career in terms of access to opportunities like education, jobs, internships, financial services, etc. 26 years later, she is living her dream with no barriers. This little girl, now lady, is none other than myself. On the other hand, there is a 9-year-old Jane who's a South Sudanese refugee living in a settlement in Africa with a single mother. Does she have access to quality education? Perhaps not. Does she have access to financial services and financial literacy knowledge? Maybe not. Does she have a bank account? I don't think so. Does she have a saving box? Perhaps not. What does her social capital look like? Does she have friends outside the walls of the refugee settlements? Perhaps not. Fast forward, at 16 years old, has she gotten access to higher education that is limited? Perhaps yes, perhaps no. Does she have dreams, ambitions, system? Perhaps not. However, we can change the story of this 9-year-old Jane by coming together and bringing closer financial literacy knowledge and services to her. Now, why did I use these two examples? Is to kind of serve our communities, but also how we're able to bring opportunities closer to people. Now, I want to highlight how financial service providers need to realize the important role they have in finding solutions to the refugee crisis by extending their services to the refugee population in their country. Financial service providers won't only support the resilience and self-reliance of this widely underserved market, they'll also assist in overcoming stigma and helping refugees contribute economically and socially to host communities. I know our minds are trickling to the realities. Do refugees have the capacity or the ability to be good financial clients? Yes, they do. A study revealed that refugee communities have the capacity to be good clients. Let me highlight for you a few case studies. For instance, in Lebanon, there is a one of the largest microfinance institutions called Al Majma that has recorded over 9,000 refugee borrowers, close to having $9 million. And I know we are asking, do they have the capability to repay back this money? Yes. This has seen the repayment rates coming close to 100%. More recent, Vision Fund Uganda conducted an assessment of over 6,700 refugee members existing in saving groups. So yes, refugees are already involved in financial literacy or financial inclusion or saving. However, they need guidance in terms of what are some of the things we need to get closer to them. How can they spend their money? How can they build their saving portfolio, their asset portfolio? Being a refugee doesn't mean they're not able to be successful entrepreneurs. And that takes me to a very crucial aspect about credit. Credit only is not sufficient to initiate and scale up a business activity. And refugees may need the support of incubators and startup technical assistance to help their businesses thrive. Now, as I wrap up, looking at the statistics or the number of refugees we have in different countries, the potential that financial literacy and inclusion has to robustly grow these economies and the job opportunities and the improvement of livelihoods is quite tremendous. And as I wrap up, I want to say that we'll close with one of my favorite quotes from Nelson Mandela, that nothing is impossible until it's done. So I urge all stakeholders and every key actor to get financial literacy knowledge and services closer to the refugees more than ever. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Aisha, for your keynote.